Here's Starbird. It's our old 1980 Mainship 34 Mark 1 trawler. Pretty basic boat. Good old Perkins motor in it, and it needs cosmetic work and a few updates, but mostly it's just cosmetic cleanup that we require here. So it's a beautiful day on September 20th, 2023, and Prideaux Haven is a really neat place. There's 3 anchoring areas, 3 coves. We are in Prideaux Haven itself. Behind us, behind these trees over here, is Melanie Cove, which is more protected, less sun, a little tighter, lots of stern tie rings. In the summertime it's a parallel parking extravaganza in there. And then way off we're going to be heading down towards Laura Cove, which is another anchorage, and a little farther from sort of downtown Prideaux Haven. Anyway, so we're going to step up in pace here. Pretty quiet. So this is speed number 3. Lots of jellyfish here. Little fingerlings squirting around. The park has put in this new little mooring buoy saying no anchoring here because of eelgrass, I think. Some kind of grass. Yep, eelgrass. This would be a very tricky passage to do on a big boat. We're mid-tide now, but you can see there's all kinds of little channels in here that are perfect for dinghies and kayaks and stuff. But you would have to be a brave man or a lot of local knowledge to start taking a keel boat or any kind of a deep draft boat. So we're up to 5 kilometers an hour now, which is just about the limit. That's 3.2 miles an hour, a little under 3 knots. Obviously it's dead calm in here right now, which is good. Not much current because of the tide is not extreme now. The difference between high and low this afternoon or in the daylight hours is only about 4 or 5 feet. So the flow in or out is not a big deal here. So we are just entering Laura Cove, or part of it at least, which is also part of Desolation Sound Provincial Marine Park. So we're sort of outside the park area, Homefray Passage, and we're looking across to the north to East Redonda. West Redonda is further to our left. And this is an interesting rock here that I've always enjoyed coming out to, whether it was rowing or dinghying. And as I say, the park has all of these small islands and rocks and islets, along with, the mainland. And I'm going to go in straight ahead and then work my way through a couple of the passages and then back out to the main entrance. So, we've just come through this little passage, good for kayaks, dinghies, nothing else. We're in about 13-foot tide right now. It'll be going down to 4 feet at 5:30 tomorrow morning, and just would not work as a passageway for a big boat. But looking around here, when we had the smaller pocket trawler, we used to work our way in here and anchor just about, here we're going to pass Starbird off in the distance there, but right about here you could anchor, and you were basically surrounded by rocks and reefs. A small boat could swing at anchor safely, just one boat. But now they're not wanting any boats in here. They've put out these buoys about the eelgrass, so be it. And we're going to cut through here out to the main channel again and then come in the main entrance to the park. Just cruising through this little channel between the William Islets. It gets very shallow here. I don't know if you can see any difference in color, but when I was through here yesterday, I was basically scraping the bottom of the dinghy. This is more where Mrs. Starbird kayaks through. But anyway, I think we're safe at this water level. We'll just push on through. And the hillside you see way off on the horizon is on West Redonda Island. So it's not as tall as the one on East Addenbrooke, but we have climbed up to the top. Great view over there, but a lot of work. So we're really in shallow water here. Probably anything below a 10-foot tide, I wouldn't be getting through here. And we're going to turn in to the Prideaux Haven Desolation Sound main entrance. Backlit a bit, so you might have trouble seeing some detail, but you have to make an S-bend from open water to get in here because there's a rock reef, and then there's these other rocks right in front of us, and over on the starboard side, the right side, there is rocks sticking out there too. So it looks wide open when there's a lot of water here. At low tide, if you're coming in, it's easier to see where you have to go. The Desolation Sound sign, I think I can get closer to it. Is one of the last obstacles before you can get in and enjoy. So, Provincial Marine Park with the BC Provincial flower, the dogwood in the round part, and then Desolation Sound on the sign below, and they got to do some work on the sign. It's every year it gets more and more weathered. And we're going over some very shallow area here. And I'm not going to go too far into the area on our right. It's where the big boats hang out. There's a big old one there that we've seen in Campbell River before. We're going to just head around the corner here to our left into Melanie Cove, which is... So, a couple of kayakers heading out of Melanie. This is the entrance to Melanie Cove. Not very busy today. 2 at anchor, 2 sailboats at anchor, and it looks like the powerboat might be stern tied to shore. There's a number of stern tie rings and chains on that sunny shoreline there. So this is the most protected of the areas you could find in Desolation Sound Park. There's really no way for the waves to get in at all. The wind can pipe down, either from the mountains or through the opening here, which I'll just pan around back to. That is a false opening at the end there. You can't get a boat through, get a kayak or a dinghy through at certain tides, but you can't take a boat through. So no waves in here virtually any time. And it's bigger than it seems. On the chart it looks sort of long and narrow, but if it's not too busy, you can anchor out in the middle and just swing at your anchor. Otherwise, all of these rocky areas on the port side of me here have anchors, stern tie rings anchored into the rocks so that you can parallel park. there is a trailhead. There's two trails in Melanie here. Just off in the shadows here around this one little rock is the start of a trail. I'll go over and have a look. There's a sign. There hasn't always been signs here, but there is now. So it's a trail that if you follow it up the ridge, down the other side of the ridge, around a reedy, grassy pond, eventually you'll get to Unwin Lake, and there's a trail that follows around part of the shoreline there and gets you to Tenedos Bay. So we're basically at the head of Melanie Cove right now. There's this little island, and we have enough water to get around it. On the south side, it's very shallow and wouldn't work if the tide was much lower. A little more water on the other side, as we exit around it. It's a little easier access. And what I'm going to show you is right at the head of the cove. There's a stream that comes in, and beside the stream there's a bit of a trail, a walking trail. None of these are really official hiking trails or anything, but this trail leads up over the ridge here and back down the other side and comes out at Laura Cove, which we visited earlier. Now here's a stern tie ring for those of you that might not be familiar with the idea. So basically bolted into the rock face. Some of them are put in by BC Park, or they're all put in by BC Parks, but some are sponsored by various groups or businesses, and it just allows people to anchor out and then tie their sterns to the chain and be able to then not swing and take up a lot of space, because wherever these things are found, it's in popular locations where, especially in the summertime, there could be dozens of boats trying to get in here and just not enough room for everybody to anchor and swing at anchor freely. So this helps by having boats sort of parallel park and stay put. If the wind changes or whatever, they're not going to go too far. Here's another one here coming up, the little yellow metal tag on it, and then the shiny silver tag talks about it, who put it in, and basically use at your own risk. And there's a bunch of them along the shore in various national and provincial marine parks on the BC coast. So we're going to leave Melanie out at the opening way up ahead, and then just make the turn and head back to Starbird. And so we're out of Melanie Cove, heading back across Prideaux Haven anchorage to our Starbird. And the powerboat that was sort of our neighbor is not here anymore, so it's just us, which is nice. And so we are back home. Starbird awaits. That was the tour of Prideaux Haven section of Desolation Sound Provincial Marine Park.